Hello there, friends. Today we are going to take a look at the 2023 Absolute Football KABOOM horizontal lineup. We've got every single card in that lineup to take a peek at today. We're going to collect 15 comps for all of them. We're going to establish average bid, average seller take home, first, second, third offer, as well as what I personally would price point them at. I hope you really like this video. It took a lot of time, a lot of work to collect all of these numbers. So if you wouldn't mind supporting the channel by hitting the like button, that'd be awesome. Anyways, I do also have one more question. Speaking of the channel, I've been getting a lot of comments about people requesting these spreadsheets in sort of a downloadable format, and a lot of people saying that they would support a Patreon if I did so. It's more work to set up. So I do want to put the question out there for all of you. Is that something you would consider supporting if I did go through the effort? As is, these take a lot of time. And it's something that I'd be willing to do if enough people could support it to the point where it made sense. So let me know down below if you would like that as an option. I would still do the videos. Don't get me wrong. The videos would be coming out regardless. It's just whether or not you would want this in a downloadable format on a Patreon. All right, so let's get on to it. So CJ Stroud rookie card. We'll do this one first. It's number 11 in the lineup, but it's obviously the one that people want to look at the most. So we'll start there, and we'll go back to number 1 and work our way up. So again, number 11 on the right-hand side, we have our 15 comps. We've got a low of 1,500, a high of 2567. That's a 71% swing. That falls really nicely within what I like to see for a swing between 50 and 100%. That usually means that there's an opportunity to make a few dollars on trading. So down below, we have our offer sheet here. 95 submissions to PSA, 44 have come back at 10. That's a 46% rate of return. $2,171 in the blue is the average bid price in order to win one of these auctions. $1,060 is the average shipping, and $2,182 is your out-the-door price. I don't consider these to be fair market value as usual because sellers have fees. Those fees are about 13 to 15%. And that means this orange number here is what sellers are actually taking home, $1,883.58. I would consider that to be more fair market value, which brings me to a few things I want to point out. A lot of times when you are purchasing in person, which is what I recommend you using these numbers for, I want you to be able to see the edges. I want you to make sure those corners are sharp and the surface is clean and free of marks. That makes these numbers more useful because you're trying to get your hands on the best card possible. Anyways, when you're negotiating, a lot of sellers are going to say, well, the average of the past 3 or 4 sales is this. So they might say the average is $2,171. Make sure you let them know that there are sellers' fees to consider. So that's not necessarily a fair starting point for negotiations on the seller's point. They're still going to try and get as much money as they can. So that's why this offer sheet becomes useful, because you can call them out right away and say, no, drop it right away. We're not even going to pretend that's a first offer, right? 1883 is fair market. I like to get in lower though. We've got stoplight offer sheet green, yellow, red. Green is a 70% offer of the blue number and amounts to $1,520. 1628 is a 75% offer, and 1737 is a hard stop 80% number. But I like to, once again, get into the bottom third of the market, and that's why this offer sheet is very useful. We sort this column ascending, and we drop down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1734.70 gets me into the bottom third of the market, and that then becomes my new final offer. It's just a few dollars shy of that 80%, interestingly enough. But yes, that would be a new final offer for me. If I wanted to sell in the top third of the market, I go to the bottom of this column and go up 5. 12.45 would net about a $300 profit margin at a 23.58 buy it now or minimum bid. Okay. So that's what I think this card would be worth based upon this offer sheet. 1883 fair market value, first offer of 1520, final offer of 1734, and then asking $2,045.27. Interestingly enough, when I sticker up a card, I put this whole number on there, $2,045.27. I know it sounds crazy, but it shows that I've done my own research, and that's what I believe the card is worth. And I think it gives you a bit more power during negotiating if you are selling a card, okay? Now let's move on to the next here. The rest of these are going to go a lot faster. We got 15 of these cards to get through, so bear with me. We've got Pattrick Mahomes here. We've got 100% swing, but if you look at the graph, that's why the graph is useful. We've got a $600 low, a $1,200 high. They are going to average each other out, all right? We've got weird swings and highs and lows on that one, but everything else is sitting pretty tight between that $800 to $1,000 mark, which tells me that we're probably going to have a hard time getting in under that 80% hard stop. 871 is going to be your average bid. 755 is average seller take home. 609 first offer, and 696 an 80% offer. Interestingly enough, at the very top here, 31 submissions, 1 PSA 10. That's a 3% rate. That is insanely low, especially when you consider the rate that the CJ Strouds are coming back. Makes me a bit dubious, right? Why is that happening? Good question, but that's what we're seeing right now. Let's get into the bottom third of this market, and it'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 715. Again, obviously, like I mentioned above, that's more than my hard stop at the 80%. So for me, I'm sticking hard there at the red number if I'm seeing this in person, and I think the numbers will back that up. Down below, though, if we want to go up 5, 779 would net us about an $80 return on that red number, or an $8.99. Buy it now. Justin Herbert next. Justin Herbert for me is kind of a dark horse in the market right now. I am very intrigued to see what his next season is like, especially considering the coach that he's got in his back pocket right now. So we got a swing very tight, 22%. That probably means, again, that 80% mark, going to be hard to get. We'll try, but we'll see. 449 and 99 is the low, 550 is the high. Just $100 separates that. Up here in the PSA submissions, a better return rate, closer to that CJ Stroud return rate, but only 18 submissions with 8 PSA 10s. Again, 7 more PSA 10s than that Pattrick Mahomes already. Crazy. 501, average bid. 434, seller take home. 350 is first offer, and bottom third of the market, definitely going to be above that 80%, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 424.78. So that means this $400 mark here at 80% is where I'm going to stand strong and then sell for $443. So just a $43 profit on that 511 best offer. For me, though, like I said, I'm very intrigued to see what he does this next season. I think he's definitely going to be a top performer, at least over the next 5 years. Don't take my word for it, but that's just kind of what I've been betting on lately as far as the opportunity he has at hand for the near future. Next up, Matthew Stafford. Again, a nice little outlier here, which is going to bring our swing a little too crazy for me, and no real bottom, no real low, because everything is within a tight market here. So that means for me personally, I'm going to be offering probably closer to that yellow. We'll see where that ends up here. But 94% swing, Matthew Stafford, number 3, a 62.5% rate of return, but only 8 submissions. So that's not really the best information to go off of. 227 is average bid. 197 is seller take home. 159 is first offer. And bottom third of the market. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 173.20. I'm not getting anywhere near this number personally. I mean, it's nice to have his kaboom, but I don't have much interest in a Matthew Stafford. There are far more intriguing players within this lineup personally for me that I would rather have. Top third of the market, 201 would net you about $30 if you got in at that 170 yellow, which is what I would probably target. But I really, again, I'd rather have any number of other cards. It's not a rookie, so I don't have that much interest. I'm far more interested in Joe Burrow. His market, of course, is pretty insane right now. I would be more interested in him over Matthew Stafford. But again, not a rookie that we're looking at. Card number 4, 48% rate of return. 506 is your average bid. 439 is going to be your orange, and 354 is going to be first offer. Bottom third of the market, if I was a buyer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 420 there. So I would be staying strong at 405 as a final offer. And then from the bottom, 450 would be your my sticker on this card. Again, I am actually trying to move Burrow cards right now. I think we've got, obviously with the Strouds on the market, I think Herbert's going to have a great year. I think Purdy obviously is going to be interesting. For me, Joe Burrow just doesn't have the draw, especially when you're considering this upcoming draft is probably going to have, I think it'll have at least 3 quarterbacks within the first 4 picks. It might have 4 quarterbacks within the first 4 picks. So there's going to be a very high intrigue on the upcoming rookie season. And I think Joe Burrow is going to get lost in the mix, at least for the short term, at least for the season, I think. So that's why I'm staying away from Burrow as far as purchasing. I'm willing to sell and haggle from my own collection right now and take the money. Next up, we've got Tua, 59%, so he falls within that swing percentage that I'm interested in. Again, pretty interesting offense that they've got playing right now down there in Miami. So that's where my intrigue in Tua comes into play. We have average bid 320, 277, seller take home 224 is going to be first offer, and bottom third. 263. So we're going to stand strong at the 80% and sticker it at 292.05. I'm more interested in Tua than, say, the Stafford or the Joe Burrow. I'm still probably more interested in the Herbert as far as non-rookies within this lineup are concerned. Next up, we've got Christian McCaffrey, and this is an interesting graph. Take a look at what we're seeing here. General decline in price point for this card. Is this a trend that we're going to be seeing with the rest of his cards? Obviously, he has experienced really this high level of intrigue over the past few years. I think the market is gonna continue this trend, unfortunately. I'm unloading all of my Christian McCaffreys. If this graph tells us anything that we can consider. So a low of 250, a high of 450, 80% swing. Down below 17 have come back a PSA 10 though. That's an 81% rate of return. First offer is going to be 261. Seller take home on average is 323. And bottom third of the market, sort that ascending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 329.50 or 329.35. I'm not touching this at all. I mean, even at $200, I might not be touching it. Truthfully, I really don't. I don't like where that graph is headed. I don't like the fact that, the market is going to be sort of bombarded by upcoming rookie intrigue for quarterbacks. All right, next up we've got Justin Jefferson. I had to stop this recording and actually put in the right numbers on this. So that's why, again, this is hard to do. It takes a lot of effort because I can screw up on occasion, which I did. So anyways, we've got the right numbers in here now. Again, number 7, we've got a swing of 53.85%, which is in a nice little sweet spot for it. 57% rate of return. 406 is your average bid price. 352 seller take home. 284 is going to be your 70% offer, and sort of sending. Let's make that happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 325.01 actually falls directly on that 80%. Is that for real? That's crazy. Wow. Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to trust the offer sheet generator there. From the bottom, 390.08 would net you about a $65 profit on a 450 buy it now. Now let's talk about Justin Jefferson first and foremost. Obviously he's the best wide receiver on the market. I believe that. Unfortunately, there is a big shakeup that's happened on the Vikings. Obviously, right now they're only working with Sam Bradford, which was their offseason pickup right now, anticipating a rookie quarterback to be selected in the upcoming draft, which means is Justin going to get his numbers? I honestly, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say no. So that gives me a great deal of concern for the value of his cards upcoming here. honestly, the market really follows the stats. And if he, stat-wise, isn't going to be that number one wide receiver in this upcoming season, I think we're going to see these cards drop, which means I'm not in on the Justin Jefferson right now. Unfortunately, I think he's the best, but it's going to take a pretty heroic rookie season from whichever rookie they have coming up, or Sam Bradford just absolutely dominating somehow. I don't know. I'm rooting for him, but it makes me nervous, so I'm out on the Justin Jefferson. Next up, we've got the Jaylen Waddle, a 31% swing on his card, number 8, 45% rate of return. 263 is going to be average bid. 228 is a seller take home. 184 first offer. And sort ascending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 214, 41 falls right around that 80%. To get in the top third is 243, which would net about a $30 profit on that one. Jalen Hurts just lost a star receiver, which is very, very intriguing to me. So 43% is your swing. We also have 57% rate of return. 343 is your average bid. 298 is seller take home. 240 first offer. We drop down 5. 281.64 is going to be much higher actually than that 80%. So we're staying strong at the 80% red offer there. 303 gets you into the top third. Jalen Hurts, probably not a target for me right now, unfortunately. Another non-target, especially considering, look at this massive outlier, 354, is Josh Jacobs. An 86% swing on this card, 60% rate of return. We've got 221 as the average bid, 192 seller take home, 155 is first offer. Sort this one ascending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 173 would get you into the bottom third. Top third of the sale market is 188. If I could get this card much lower than this green number, then fine, I'll take it. I mean, it's a kaboom, why not? But for me, I'm going to need to get a sweet deal on this card in order for me to add it to my collection. CJ Stroud we already did, so that's your card number 11. Bryce Young, I am intrigued by Bryce Young for the upcoming season to see if we can get a nice little comeback. You never know. 75.82% is going to be your swing rate. That's intriguing. 580 is average bid. 503 seller take home. 406 is going to be first offer. And sort this one ascending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 481 gets you into the bottom third of sales, and a 520 gets you into the top third of sales for selling and price mark. For me, this is another card that I'm going to stay at 406 for a final offer. Too much concern for me in this upcoming season. I got to get a good deal on this card if I'm trying to get my hands on it. Again, a lot of rookies coming up next year, and I think we're going to lose a lot of intrigue on this 2023 lineup of rookies. CJ Stroud notwithstanding, I think he's going to hold on to that value for a little bit, especially since he got that Rookie of the Year. But other rookies have me concerned. Speaking of another rookie, we've got basically the number 2 card within this lineup is going to be the Anthony Richardson. We are seeing a 30% swing on this card, $900 low, a high of $1175, I should say. A 37% rate of return on 48 submissions. 1,034 is your average bid. 896 seller take home. 723 is going to be your first offer. And sorting ascending, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 854, much higher than the 80%. For me, obviously you got to stand strong at that 80% at 827. I would like to get on this card much lower for reasons I've already discussed. 919 would get you in the top third of the market at $1,060 for buy it now. Bijan Robinson, we have a 30% swing on this card. 445.65 is your blue. That's the average bid. 58.62 is your rate of return. Seller take home is at 386, and 311 is your first offer. Sort this one ascending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 359.71. It gets you in the bottom third of the market, so definitely not going over the 80%. 398 gets you into the top third of the market. Again, a running back, I'm not touching it. Not going to happen. I'm sorry, Bijan. We got to let your numbers go down significantly lower and see what's going to happen with your upcoming season. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba finally kind of rounds us out here. 28% swing on his cards. Really, really steady on that. 297 is going to be average bid. 257 seller take home. 208 is first offer. And bottom third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 256 gets you into the bottom third. 264 gets you into the top third. So that is a very tight swing. 80% would be a max for sure. That would get you about $30 in this trade if you were participating in it on this. So for me, this Kaboom horizontal set has a few stars worth looking at. I am obviously targeting CJ Stroud going into this next season without a doubt. If I can get a good deal on one, fine, sign me up. I also, again, like the Herbert personally within this. I just like his cards in general for this upcoming season, although I could be completely wrong. And a card that I absolutely hate right now is the Christian McCaffrey. Cannot do it. I'm sorry to say that market is trending downward fast. So hopefully this all helped you out. Let me know if it did down below because, I like kind words. I like encouragement. So I'll take whatever I can get. Take care, friends.